So at the start of any class here at Deathproof CrossFit, you are going to begin with a warm-up. So what's the point? Well, the warm-up does several things. The first thing it does is increases the temperature within your body, specifically in the muscles. Increased temperature in the muscles means that will perform better and your chance of injury is a lot lower. So that's the first reason. The second reason is we want to get increased blood flow. As we start the workout, we want blood flow to be high. That means your cardiac rate, your heart rate has increased. Because you've got higher blood flow, you can transfer more fuel to the muscle, you can get it to recover faster, and when the muscle has essentially oxidized that fuel, you can then reject the metabolites of that reaction away from the muscle. So we get more energy to the muscle and we get the waste products to move out faster as well. It also allows you neurological improvement. So often you come into a workout and you haven't really done anything physical that day, and it could be because it's at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. in the morning and it's the first work that you've actually done, or you've just been sat at a desk all day, and we need to get the brain and the butt to start communicating with each other. So there's this neurological practice that happens that will prepare you for the rest of the workout. The last thing that we want is that we're selecting dynamic improvements in range of motion that will support the workout we're going to do. So if we've got a lot of bench press in the workout, then it would be nice if we'd done something like a push-up in order to prepare you for the high intensity work that is coming. And again, that is so you'll be neurologically more precise, your movement will be cleaner, and also that the intensity will not cause you injury, which is super important. All workouts should have elements of efficacy, efficiency, and safety. If your exercise program doesn't include those three elements, then you might consider changing your workout regimen because they are all essential. So, what kind of warm-up are we going to do? Well, we've got two major patterns that we tend to use at the gym, and we're going to explain both of those next. So, the warm-up is generally written on the whiteboard so that you can come into the gym, start your workout, but know what you're going to do next, get your equipment out. So the first format that we use is the 6 minutes, every minute on the minute. So what we have here are 4 exercises, 6 repetitions of each one. For those who have been doing CrossFit a while, we normally reduce that to 4 repetitions for people that may spend a little more time in transition, figuring out what comes next because they're just not used to the exercise routine yet. The reason that we do 6 minutes every minute on the minute is 5 minutes every minute on the minute would be insufficient, and I would consider 7 minutes to be excessive. So that's why it's 6 minutes every minute on the minute. It's a really good way of having people do a selection of exercises to support the main workout and keep time control on it. Because if I just give you a list of 10 things to do, some people will chat while they're doing it and they'll take 15 minutes to do it. Others might think, well, I don't really like burpees, so they miss that out completely and then they're not prepared for the workout. This gives your instructor the ability to prescribe a warm-up and to see that everybody is doing it and they're doing it correctly, and therefore they are ready to start the rest of the workout once the warm-up has been completed. Now, the next kind of warm-up we have, which we generally run, not always, but often, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, uses some of the resistance bands to improve shoulder range of motion. So then we have a slightly different format for that warm-up. It's equally effective. In fact, for your shoulders, it is more effective, but it takes a little longer, so we limit that to 3 times a week, and we'll talk about that right now. So Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, we have a slightly different warm-up format. And the warm-up format is based on a clock which will go for 13.5 minutes. It's basically 3 4-minute rounds with 30 seconds to transition in between. My math isn't great, right? Clearly that doesn't add up to 13.5 minutes, or 13 minutes, not 13.5. That's okay, we'll keep that in. So the first part of the warm-up, if we're optimizing this, is that we're going to use the cardio equipment for 4 minutes. So you get to choose whether you want to do this with an echo bike, or whether you want to do this with a ski erg, or whether you want to do it with the rowing erg, Or if it's in the summer, you might want to go out and run around the building for about 4 minutes. You should do it at a pace that would allow you to be able to hold the conversation even though you're slightly out of breath. That typically is how you react to the top of what we call zone 2. So if we're measuring ourselves on cardiac output, you are speeding up your heart rate a little bit, but not so much that it runs you out of breath. That would be a little too intense. What we're trying to do here, get a little bit of blood flow and to increase your internal temperature a little bit. Once we've done some cardio work, then depending on the class size, we'll move between bands and functional movements. So this is the kind of format that you'll see on the whiteboard in that case. So right at the top here it says 4 minutes, 4 rounds. This is a guideline. It really doesn't matter if you complete 4 rounds. It matters that you're doing this stuff for about 4 minutes. And again, 4 functional movements, 6 repetitions of each one. Go through that 4 times. 4 minutes, 4 rounds. Sounds a little like a 4-minute EMOM. Okay? And a selection of elements there that have been chosen as a precursor to the high intensity movements that we're going to be doing in the workout. And so in the second 4 minutes, after the 30-second transition of coming off the aerobic machines, that would be the work that you would do. Or you would be part of the group that is working with the bands first. And so here, the instruction for the bands, this states that the bands are going to be in the high position, so at about eye level, and that the workout is elements are going to be snow angels, flies, and external rotations. If you want to know what those look like, then go see the videos on those exercises. So what you would do here is in that 4-minute interval, you would do 8 repetitions of each of these exercises in both directions. So facing into the rig and facing out of the rig. Now, if we had something like a pulsing Y, then what you would do is 8 repetitions in both directions, 5 pulses per repetition. So anytime you see pulsing included in that, then you know that you have 5 pulses per repetition, which can make that element a little bit longer. So you've got to move right through it. That's the second format that we've got. Pretty simple stuff once you get into the habit of it. A little bit confusing for newcomers, so it's a good job you're watching this video.